When you think of a fantastic lawyer, what do you think of? Is it their ability to conduct a brilliant cross-examination of a witness at trial? Is it their compelling legal arguments? Or perhaps their passion for pursuing justice on behalf of their clients? Likely, when you think of someone who's an excellent lawyer, you think of somebody who possesses a combination of some or all of these skills, which they've honed and perfected through many years of practice. However, in this talk, we're going to tell you about how we work with our university law students to teach them to think like a lawyer before many of our students have even set foot in a law firm. My name's Sadie, and I'm here today with Kathryn, and we work as practicing solicitors and lecturers in Lancaster University's law school. Our role focuses on introducing students to the practical side of the law, and we lead on all of the experiential modules in the law school.
So one of the biggest projects that we work on is our law clinic. In the law clinic, our students work in pairs and they interview real clients about real life legal problems. After the meeting with the client, the students conduct legal research and they draft a written advice letter to the client in order to help them resolve their legal problems. Since our law clinic started, we've helped over 100 clients with their legal issues, and our cases range on different topics, from consumer rights issues following the purchase of a faulty car to issues between landlords and tenants. Throughout the process, our students are exposed to real life legal work, and they're expected to manage their case, they're expected to work with their supervising solicitor, and they work on a case management system. So, how does participation in the law clinic teach our students to act like a lawyer? Well, what skills do you think a lawyer needs to succeed in practice? For me, some key skills come to mind. Firstly, the ability to understand people and empathise with clients. So by working in the law clinic, our students get first-hand experience of working with clients with different legal issues. Sometimes our clients might be upset or might be anxious. So our students must fine-tune their people skills and they must work alongside the client to put them at ease and to get the information that they need from the interview. Secondly, great lawyers are team players. So in the law clinic, our students must work as part of a larger team. So this includes that they work with a partner to conduct the interview, to research the issue and to draft their written letter of advice. And they also have to work as part of a wider team. So this includes working alongside a practicing lawyer who is supervising that case and also working alongside our law clinic administrator.
Excellent lawyers also have brilliant written and communication and research skills, and their attention to detail is on point. Our students learn the importance of these skills. Students often have to research areas of the law that they've never studied in a classroom, and they use practitioner resources to do so. When preparing their advice to clients, they need to perfect their written communication skills, and receiving feedback from practicing lawyers helps our students to improve their attention to detail and get comfortable with receiving a critique of their work. Finally, lawyers also need to be able to work under pressure. We think that there is no better way of testing your ability to work under pressure than by asking you to interview a real client about their real legal problem. In our client interviews, our students don't know what might come up. The client might be emotional or give them lots of complicated information or raise additional unexpected legal problems. By working in clinic, our students learn to excel under pressure and see pressure as a challenge rather than a threat, which stands them in good stead if they decide to go into a career in the legal profession or in any other graduate role. Participating in clinic also encourages our students to have a commitment to access to justice. In the UK, there's recently been large cuts to legal aid funding, which means that very few people are now eligible for legal aid funding for their case. If you're rich, the legal aid cuts probably won't affect you because you can afford to pay for a lawyer. However, if you're not rich and you can't afford to pay for a lawyer and you're not eligible for legal aid, you aren't entitled to the same justice that your richer counterparts have access to. So in effect, we currently have a two-tier justice system in the UK, which is open to those who can afford it, but which is increasingly closed to the rest of the population. Some of the clients that we work with in clinic have nowhere else to turn as a result of these cuts to legal aid. And many people are increasingly turning to law clinics and legal advice centres to help them with their legal problems. Through participation in clinic, our students are exposed to the effects of the legal aid cuts firsthand. And we hope that through working in clinic, our students are inspired to dedicate their careers in some way to improving access to justice and to helping clients who might otherwise have nowhere else to turn. So by working in clinic and by working with real clients and our team of practicing lawyers, our students are exposed to the practical realities of lawyering, such as the legal aid cuts, and they also develop really important legal skills such as teamwork, creative problem solving, legal drafting, and attention to detail. By participating in clinic, our students learn to think like a lawyer, and they gain skills that could never be acquired in a traditional classroom. In addition, our students are learning the skills that employers want. In clinic, our students gain practical, authentic legal experience, and this really sets them apart from the competition when it comes to applying things such as training contracts, vocation schemes, pupilages, and non-legal graduate jobs.
Okay, so how else do we teach our students to think like lawyers? Well, we want our students to work alongside our local community as much as possible, because as discussed before, working with people is a key skill that any lawyer needs. And there's also great demand from the local community to get legal information. So one of the ways that we do this is through a module called Street Law, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Street Law now. So Street Law allows our students to research, design, and deliver interactive talks, lessons, and presentations, and they deliver these to the public in order to educate the public about their legal rights and their legal responsibilities. So Street Law allows our students to work in teams, and in the past they have educated school children and designed school lessons to educate pupils about the law. Our students will select the area of law that they want to focus on, and then they will design a lesson. So in the past they've worked on a variety of topics. So some of those topics include social media and the law. This is where they've challenged ideas on restrictions of what you can write online versus freedom of speech. They've also looked at the issue of graffiti, and they've posed the question, is graffiti street art or is it vandalism? They've considered employment law issues, and they've asked the question, should companies be allowed to place its employees on 0 hours contracts? They've also looked at the issue of cyberbullying and the law, and they've questioned, does the law adequately protect internet users? And they've questioned, is the law able to keep up with the fast moving pace of technology? As part of Street Law, they've also considered criminal law issues and designed lessons on this. So they've tackled complex issues such as, are you guilty of an offence just by being at the scene of a crime? What constitutes a crime? And does the community have any influence over what should be deemed a criminal activity? So as part of Street Law, our students design quizzes, workbooks, games, debates, mini mock trials and negotiations. And the reason they do this is in order to educate school pupils to think about, what is the law? Does it need reform? Is it fit for purpose? And how does it apply to them? Street Law students have also worked alongside our community in terms of charity groups and support groups, and they've delivered talks on a variety of topics. So some examples of these is that they've presented on issues surrounding consumer rights, discrimination, fraud and theft, education law issues, and family law issues. So as you can see, our students gain a broad understanding of a wide range of legal issues. So how does street law support you in terms of training to think like a lawyer? Well, street law allows our students to work in teams. They work closely with their peers to design the talks. It also allows our students to develop their communication and their public speaking skills. In addition, our students manage the project from start to finish, gaining leadership skills along the way. A key skill for any lawyer is to be able to translate their legal language into an easy-to-follow, simplified format. So our street law students receive a lot of training around this, and they design their talks using language that the public can fully understand. So they do this to educate the public about their legal rights, their legal responsibilities, and also to help the public to remedy any legal problems that they've encountered. So ultimately, street law is all about learning by doing. It's about gaining hands-on experience, and it's about considering law from a very practical point of view.
So as well as the law clinic and street law, we also offer a range of other practical modules to teach our students to think like a lawyer from the outset. So for example, in our civil litigation and dispute resolution module, the students follow a simulated commercial litigation case right the way through from the first client interview through to trial. Along the way, students complete all of the key stages of a commercial litigation, from meeting the client for the first time in a role play interview, through to drafting the claim form and court documents such as the witness statements, taking part in a simulated mediation to try to resolve the dispute by alternative dispute resolution, and finally taking part in advocacy in our ready-made mock courtroom. So by running a commercial litigation case, our students gain practical experience of how a litigation is run in the UK. We believe that it's the role of law schools to teach you to think like a lawyer from the outset. Our practical modules help you to build the key skills that you will need if you decide to go into the profession or if you go into any other profession. So whether you're interviewing a real client in our law clinic or working with members of the community to educate them about a legal issue, or conducting a simulated cross-examination in our mock courtroom, you can be sure that you're going beyond the textbooks and you're learning the practical legal skills that employers want and that you will need if you go into the profession. Thank you very much for listening and have a lovely rest of your day.
Kokia yra Lancaster universiteto didžiausia, geriausia savybė?
Geriausia, didžiausia, Karoli, tai turbūt vienas geriausių ir žinomiausių universitetų apskritai Didžiojoje Britanijoje ir ne tik. Aš manau, kad ir pasaulinius reitingus, kadangi tikrai daug jaunų abiturientų, kada domisi kokybę ir diplomų, reiškia sverte, tikrai gali pasižiūrėti pasaulinius reitingus ir pamatyti Lancaster universitetą besipuikuojantį, tikrai sakyčiau, į pirmą 200 universitetų papuolą. Tai yra turbūt vienas didžiausių išskirtinumų. Kalbant apie teisės specialybę, ką kalbėjo pranešėjai, dėstytojos turbūt, kad daugelis jaunų žmonių įsivaizduoja teisę, kada mato filmus, kaip gražus lagaminas, laimėtos bylos ir panašiai, bet man praktikoje yra tekę tikrai konsultuoti ne vieną studentą, kuris mokosi teisės studijose ir ateina pas mane kalbėti apie tai, kad jisai planuoja kažkur tai perstoti, dėl to, kad susidūrus turbūt su įvairių ten baudžiamojo kodeksų, reiškia su civilinė teisė, yra didžiulis darbas, kurį tu turi padaryti, kad pataptum teisininku. Tai taip, kad tikrai pati programa, ką kalbėjo Lancaster universitetų dėstytojos, tikrai yra nuostabi, bet gal akcentą pasakysiu tokį, galbūt tokį tipsų įdėsiu, kad tie, kurie planuoja užsienyje studijuoti teisę, aš labai rekomenduoju pasižiūrėti, kokią teisę siūlo patys universitetai, įskaitant ir Lancaster universitetų studijų programas, dėl to, kad britiška teisė galbūt tikrai nėra taip plačiai naudojama, jeigu jūs planuojat grįžti į Lietuvą, tada reikėtų žiūrėti kaip pavyzdys tarptautinė teisė, Europos teisė, žmogaus teisė ir panašias studijų programas.